Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne Sharp World, where today we are taking a look at not just a knife, but a company in general that is beginning to make a very bold statement and put themselves up there with some of the absolute best, most precise, most impressive manufacturers in the business, and that's Katuo. Yes, that is Katuo. I've had a couple on the channel. They've been very nice in the past, but this one and another one that I'm going to be taking a look at here in a handful of days. At some point, you're going to see the review come up. They are doing some insanely impressive things. And this one here may take the cake. Here you got your little card that comes with. Really cool, cutout of the Katuo. And yeah, I kind of just ruined it. So here's the Mecha X. That is what we are taking a look at today. And you get a cloth and just take a look at this absolute smoke show of a knife. Also, by the way, before we get into the knife, really nice job packaging this. I know it doesn't look like much, but they cut this cutout here in the foam just perfect, where the knife just kind of very easily slides in. You don't have to jam it in there. Just really nice. I appreciate that. So it's usually not that easy, so I really enjoyed that. Now, let's talk about this guy right here, the Mecha X. But before I go any further into this review, I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. If you like what you see, do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, follow along, and I will continue to bring you the content. Now let's take a look at some overall specs on this insanely impressive, insanely badass knife right here. We have an overall length coming in at 8.41 inches, a blade length of 3.69 inches, and a blade material of M390. We have a kind of a clip point blade, I guess. Technically, it's a clip point because it's clipped off up there, but you get clip point vibes, you get Tonto-ish vibes, you get some drop point vibes. We'll talk more about that when we get to the blade. A very nice thin and slicey flat grind with a handle length coming in at 4.72 inches. Handle material on this guy is titanium, but there is so much more about this handle that we're going to get into, because as you can see, or maybe you can't see, there's something that you just don't see a lot of on this handle. That's any of it, and we'll touch on that in a second. I don't want to give too much away as we're going through the specs. We have a frame lock for the locking mechanism, a user of a right hand only tip up carry, weight coming in at 4.83 ounces, and a price of $315. Some of you may gawk at $315 and think, oh, that's too much. I'm here to tell you $315 for this knife, in my opinion, is very, very fair. Kind of almost a deal, because this is just so different. So different. Yeah, I'm in love with this thing. It's hard to talk about because I'm excited, but I want to portray to you guys just how impressive this is, especially from Katuo. Like I said, I've handled Katuo before. They're a nice company. They make really good knives, but this changes everything for my thinking of Katuo. Let's take a look at some size comparisons here real quick. See how it compares to some other knives. And the first thing that really came to my mind with this was this right here, the Weesnex Buster, I think Mini Buster, I think. Just because of the overall kind of design language. It looks futuristic. It looks just futuristic. Futuristic is definitely the word. So yeah, not really like an exact size comparison. I just couldn't help but think of that. And then I also have here the Civivi Conspirator, because that's always a good one to stick up there. Everyone knows how big the Conspirator is. Let's bring the beautiful Mini Buster off. We'll throw one more up there. Let's go with this guy right here, the Kaiser Brat. So yeah, there's your size comparisons. Really nice size knife here. I love everything about this knife. I'm gonna tell you right now, guys, I don't have anything bad to say about this. And really not even any criticism of it. I have one thing to say about this knife that I don't love. I like the way they look. I don't love the way they perform. and that's the thumb studs on this blade. Now, from a middle finger flicking perspective, they work great. No issue on the middle finger flick. When it comes to the actual deployment of the blade, you got to get used to it. You got to really kind of push out, and you don't quite have that easy bite that you do with regular thumb studs. But on that note, very, very easy to middle finger flick. So it's not the end of the world. As for the rest of this blade, it like I said before, it kind of has Tonto-ish vibes. It has clip point vibes. It may technically be a clip point because that is clearly clipped up there. But it acts like a drop point. It cuts like a drop point. It's going to be very, very similar to just a drop point blade, but it looks so different. I mean, it just looks great. Very, very thin slicey edge. We're coming in, I believe, around 14 thousandths behind the edge here. So extremely slicey, no issue on the performance there whatsoever. And the ergos. We can talk about the flipper tab. The flipper tab has a lot to do with the action. Basically, picture a Vero. Like to me, the flipper on this is very much like a Vero engineering knife. I'm not saying they took anything from them, but just in terms of kind of just, where it's at, the force that's generated by just a really mediocre, like not even a hard flip. It generates a lot of power and the blade flies out. It's really, really nice. Incredible action on this. But the handle is the star of the show here. One, it comes together to make incredible ergos that I had no idea this thing was going to feel this good in hand. You got a choil up here if you want to use the choil. You can choke back. To be honest, I mean, you really do want to use this area here. Just wrap your index around it. It is so, so good. So nice in the hand. But the magic is the fact that you don't see any screws on this guy. There are no exposed screws whatsoever. And that's because what we have here is an integral cover handle that covers all the hardware screws. It's brilliant. It's futuristic. I love it. And I'll show you how to take it off. So right back here is this little tab. And it slides just like that. So you slide that back and just pull it off just like that. So the cover comes off. You see you got the name and Katuo and Mecha X there. And then right back here is where you have your pivot and you have all the screws. So it's just an absolutely brilliant design. Everything about this is just different. It is very, very different. And I'm in love with it. Now getting it back, let's see. This is, one second here. This is somewhat of an operator error because in all honesty, this is the first time I've taken this cover off. I watched a Neves Knives video on this because I wanted to take it off for the first time in front of you guys to make sure that everything worked the way it should. It's like here. Let's see. Is it in there? No, not in there yet. Hold on. Now we're going to figure it out on the camera. So let's see here. Hold on a sec. Goes in. Oh. Goes in like this. There's that. There. Just like that. Lock back in. It's on there extremely tight. There's very, very little movement on this. The tolerances on the milling and machine work are just insanely good. This is easily a knife of the year contender for me. As you can see, you kind of have your intercut frame lock here. This is a frame lock knife, but it obviously looks very, very different than regular frame locks because it's kind of encased around the handle. You have right here your lock bar, which is very nice. Easy access to that lock bar. They did a good job of milling out around there. And just like that, it just closes. And this is still a very new knife. I've carried it for one day, and I haven't really done a whole lot with it. I mean, I measured the blade. It's going to cut just fine. M390, very slicey. So no doubt in my mind it's going to perform just fine. But just everything else about it in terms of just the overall design and the fact that we have perfect blade centering. This thing is an absolute smoke show. It is so good looking. A phenomenal design, a very unique design at what I think is a very fair price. I'm not upset about $315 for this. Not at all. The action is phenomenal. The ergos are great. It's about as different as you can be. And it's just a great knife. It's built well. You don't have to worry about it falling apart. The locking mechanism back here that holds the integral handle cover in is very secure, very tight. You don't have to worry about anything. This thing is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. It's a knife of the year contender. And I'm pretty blown away by what Katuo is doing right now, because this is nothing like the other Katuos I've handled. And the Katuos I've handled in the past have been good, but they haven't been like this. They haven't. This is different. This is next level. This is a huge, massive flex. And I cannot wait to see what else is going to be coming out of the pipeline from Katuo after this Mecha X, because it's just amazing. So let me know what you guys think of this. If you've handled one, let me know. If you go to Blade Show West coming up here, check it out. Check out the Katuo booth. I'm sure they're going to be there. This is amazing. That's all I got to say. That's it, guys. Let me know what you think about this one. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And until the next one, I'm out.